Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about my top 5 favorite books so far. I had stated in my July reading wrap-up that I was going to do my top 5 for the months of January to June. However, while I was editing that video, I realized that I actually did do a January reading wrap-up. If you want to check out that video, I'm pretty sure I'm just going to click it up here for y'all. So this top 5 video is actually going to just focus on the months of February to June. Now all of these are 5-star reads, and I guess I'll do them in roughly chronological order. Now the first book that I'll be talking about today is American Born Chinese by Gene Luen Yang. This is a graphic novel, and this story actually follows a character named Jin Wang, and all he wants to do is be able to fit in. His family moves to a new neighborhood, which means he's going to a new school, and when he arrives to this new school, he sees that he's the only Chinese person there. Now the story didn't just follow Jin Wang, it actually follows like 2 other storylines, but at the end you see how all of these storylines actually were connected. It had this overall theme, how one could be part of a community but still be an outsider due to racism. It was incredibly easy to see Gene Luen Yang's intent for the audience to see what it means to be Chinese American, Asian American in this society. This graphic novel kept me completely engaged, and it was really interesting to see how the transforming theme took place in each storyline. I just loved the overall concept of this piece. The next thing that I'm going to be talking about is Parkland Speaks. This was actually just a series of works by the survivors of the Parkland shooting in Florida. It was incredibly powerful and really emotional to read. And with the shootings in Ohio and Texas, it still is incredibly relevant, which is heartbreaking. Now, this didn't just feature like writing pieces, it also featured art pieces. This was just a collection of grief and hope. The next book that I'm going to be talking about was also a nonfiction item. It's Becoming by Michelle Obama. I listened to this as an audiobook, and she reads this. This is just her memoir following her from like when she was very young until she entered the White House as the First Lady. She's lived such an incredible life. I just loved learning about her. I definitely recommend that you listen to this as an audiobook if you can. The fourth book that I'll be talking about today is a graphic novel. It's a kid's graphic novel. It's Hecate by Lorena Alvarez Gomez. This was such a glow up. So this is book 2 in this series. The first book is Nightlights. Yes, Nightlights. I loved the art style in that one, but I thought the story was like, maybe I rated the story about a 3, and I was like, it's alright. And when I saw Hecate came out, because it is a relatively new book, I was like, you know what, I really love this art style, I want to give this a chance. And honestly, this should have been book 1. I thought the story was better represented in this one, and I thought there was like less room of error of trying to understand what the story was about. In book 1, I couldn't tell if it was just the girl's imagination that was magical or she was in a magical world. And in this one, there wasn't any confusion. And I actually think you can read them out of order. I don't think you necessarily need to read book 1 to enjoy this one. But this story basically just follows a little girl named Sandy. She's on a school field trip, and she's supposed to like find some animals in a park and then do a little like project on that animal. And at this field trip, she kind of gets sucked into this other world, and she has to try to find out how to save this other world. There's definitely that comparison of trying to help the ecosystem and to help against world pollution. So the story definitely had that lesson involved. I really liked this story. It was really easy to tell who the villain was supposed to be. Overall, I thought it was very lovely. And the last book I'm going to be talking about is something I read in June. And I have to say, I think this is my favorite book of the year. Unless something fantastic comes out of the woodwork in the last half of the year, I think this is my favorite book of the year. And this book is With Fire and High by Elizabeth Acevedo. I just loved this book so much. I just thought it was just so wonderfully written. Imani is a senior in high school, and when she was a freshman, she had gotten pregnant by someone who was a senior in high school. And now we follow her in her senior year, and she's trying to figure out, well, how am I supposed to graduate with a possible career choice in mind and still raise my daughter? Because she kept her child, and she also has to work to help her abuela like pay the bills for the household, because it's just her daughter, herself, and her grandmother. And I totally missed my hand. In her like personal stuff, she loves to cook. She enjoys cooking. Like that's really part of herself and her personality. And at the school, she sees that a new cooking class is being introduced. And she's hesitant on joining this cooking class because she sees at the end of the year there's a trip to Spain, and she just knows that she won't be able to afford to go. So why bother with this class when she just knows that she's going to end up heartbroken at the end of the year that she can't go on this trip. But with the encouragement of her teachers and her grandmother, she does this class. And you just really see how she blossoms in this cooking class. And there is an element of a romance story happening. Her and the baby's father are not dating. They realized very quickly after she had gotten pregnant that they just weren't really meant to be together. And she's just not ready to be heartbroken again. So she has kept her distance from boys this entire time. And we see that because she has a child, boys treat her differently. They think she's easy. She thinks she's this. And you see how she deals with that. In this cooking class, she meets a new boy, and she's ready to just put him on the back burner, like, no, you're just going to treat me like everybody else, not interested. And he doesn't. First, she didn't even want to be his friend, and then they slowly become friends, and then they slowly become something more. Even when they slowly became something more, she really wasn't ready to call it dating. And you just really see her growing as a person for herself, not because she has a man. I just love how the story showed personal growth for herself, and it showed that she didn't need another person in her life to actually have this personal growth. I rooted for Imani every step of the freaking way. And the writing style, how things were described, were just so vivid. I listened to this as an audiobook, and I can't tell you how much I recommend listening to this as an audiobook. It was so easy to get lost in this world. But that's it. That's everything that I have to talk about for this video. So far, these are my favorite books of the year. Let me know down in the comments what you've enjoyed so far this year. Maybe I'll find a new favorite. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I guess it's ta-ta for now. Bye, guys.